And that was Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. And Brayden, are you okay?
Just some people can go and oof, almost there.
Almost had to use the beat button there. All right,
That would have been the first swear on the show.
Are you all right, Brayden? Are you all right?
Yeah.
You need to take another sedative. He's been really wound up. It's all right. I've got some nice, easy yeah-nahs for you here.
Yeah, hit me with it. Yeah, great, another bloody debate section.
Oh, he's really wound up.
Yeah, hit me with it.
All right. Would you say, this is a yeah-nah question for you, would you say people these days are more risk-averse than they were in the past?
Risk-averse?
Yes, risk-averse. Afraid of risks.
So do you think more people are afraid of risks? Probably yeah. That's probably a yeah for me. I feel like there's more surveillance now compared to the old days. Would you agree? Like we have a lot more security cameras.
Security,
right?
yes.
Yeah, so I feel like back in the older days you could probably get away with more stuff. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
So you reckon it's because there's more people watching that people are more risk-averse?
There's more people watching. Think about it. When something happens, we can quickly whip out our phone and do a bit of citizen journalism, really, saying, oh, look, there's something on fire. Or, look, these guys have stolen this. Meanwhile, back in the old days, you kind of had to rely on what people said.
Steal my neighbour's milk from their porch.
You did? Oh.
From the old days.
So I thought you...
I didn't.
thought you
How
did
old
it
do you
now.
think
I'm just
I
like,
am?
that's really weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's Gola, so those sort of things still happen there. We just got colour television.
Okay, one for you. The Soundtest Tour Down Under is a bigger loss than Adelaide realises.
Ooh, Tour Down Under is a huge event. It brings a lot of people in, and you know what? My wife and my mother-in-law are obsessed with it.
My mother is obsessed with it too. I quite like it as well. It was a great event.
Yeah, I think it's great. If they're listening, I think it's great. And I love being dragged along and looking at your scrapbook with you.
I'm guessing you're not the biggest fan of the event, or is that because you've been dragged to so many?
No, I love the event, Brayden, and I think it's a huge loss. Thank God it's gone.
No, I think it is a massive loss, just because even when you're watching it on TV, and not so much for Australians watching on TV, but because it's shown around the world, it's basically one massive tourism ad.
Oh, a huge ad for all the wineries that rides
Winery
around.
sections, Victor Harbour. There's a lot that is shown in there. I think it's
the
a
Wingfield
massive
dump.
loss.
It drove past the Wingfield dump.
Okay, some
twice
decisions. Okay, some
on its route. Who came up with that plan? Let's drive past the Wingfield dump twice to show it off. Looks great in the aerials.
Look, there's some decisions that they can think about. I still think it's a great event for so many reasons. And the other thing, it encourages Adelaide to get healthy. Like, you've never seen so many people on their bike during that time.
The nuts riding around in their lycra, and it's like 40 degrees, and you're like, you don't have to do this. We're not a professional cyclist.
Going up those hills as well.
Yeah, One Tree Hill, they're just everywhere. That week, they're all out.
Up in Corkscrew Hill, and then you got Obalunga Hill. Just go nuts for it. You should see them all down at Athelston and Gorge Road. Like, that's terrifying. Like, Gorge Road's like a skinny road for Australians. Like, Jesus.
And then you got all these cyclists just going out for their Sunday ride.
Yeah,
and you never see them any other time of the year.
Yeah, that's the thing that
People
kind of...
are going to miss it.
I think they will as well, just because I feel like, especially the regions, because that was the big thing for me, that it would go to like when they went through the Barossa and stuff like that. I feel like they're going to lose out the most, because the Santos Tour Down Under after parties, they were great. Like, have you gone to the after parties?
Yeah, the huge shows they usually have on. Yeah,
and those street markets and everything. That was always good fun. So even if you didn't like the sport, I felt like the Tour Down Under offered more events for more people.
Yeah, and it had community. It was great. It was great for everyone.
What do you got for me?
All right, let's go with the Horse Racing Cup. What was yesterday?
Which one?
Melbourne Cup. You can have any of them.
Yeah,
Do you think
Cup.
horse racing is unethical? Yeah or no?
Oh, this is always hard. No, I don't think horse racing is unethical. I mean, it's hard because I'm coming from a sport journalist point of view, but
if you
I will, and it's probably a bit controversial, I do think horse jump races, that is unethical. I do agree with that. But then again, we have those Gymkhana events. So it's a really difficult one, especially after that horse has died. in the recent Melbourne Cup race. But the thing is, I have friends in veterinary science and stuff like that, and they say basically, when a horse gets an issue, a lot of the time, at least, not always, but a lot of the time, it usually leads to a, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, especially if it's anything to do with the legs, they're very fragile for such a hefty beast.
What do you think? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I think it's not unethical, the horse race itself. I think there's a lot of stuff around it that may be unethical, like killing the slow foals and all that sort of breeding stuff can be quite unethical, but it's not any more unethical than eating meat, and a lot of people do that.
We also use horses for other things too, when you think about it, like workhorses.
Workhorses, and horses get treated like gold. These winning horses are like treated like they're better treated than most people, to be honest.
There are stories.
They have a good life.
There are stories of some getting turned to dog food, others like the old glue factory.
You've got to get rid of the meat somehow.
But
it's more unethical not to use the meat, I think. But it depends. That depends on your beliefs, I think.
It will be interesting to see if that sport is still around in 50 years. I think it will be because of the money. The money that horse racing brings is insane.
Gambling's great. It brings so much money.
Whoa. Hey.
Oh, sorry.
Gamble responsibly if you're gambling out there.
The events around gambling is great. Yeah, brings in so much money.
And the fashion parade that are out there. So
that's even bigger than the event.
This is going to be a debate that happens a long time. But no, I don't think we should go banning cups or anything like that. And
if you talk to any horse racers, they will tell you the horses actually love racing.
Yeah, that's so.
They put their head forwards, they prick their ears up. They want to win. They want to win that race.
Yeah,
it's the same with greyhounds. They want to win that race. They actually love running.
Yeah, have you seen a greyhound run?
I've seen a greyhound run. They love it.
So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Next one is for you. What's very, very convenient that it was on horse racing as well. The Melbourne Cup should be a national holiday.
Oh, national. So many people watch it. We do have the Adelaide Cup, which is
I watched it at work during the shift with my boss.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be better to watch it at home? Yes, it would. Maybe it should be.
Yeah, now there's people saying, "Oh, we'll just switch the day off for Adelaide Cup to Melbourne Cup." No. I don't want that. I want both. I'll just add an extra public day off. Now, I know a lot of people probably complain of the businesses like that's one more day I have to pay for public holiday, but it gets everyone out. We spend money in our region. I don't really
more public holidays, please. I think we need public holidays. I don't like any of this losing public holidays.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Boxing Day this year?
Yeah, it's being observed on the Monday.
Yeah, it's being observed on the Monday, but they are not bringing any penalty rates. You don't have to enforce them on the Boxing Day.
That's rubbish, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. For my wife, who's usually contracted for the Saturday and will have to work, it's not even optional to turn down anymore. It would be on the Monday.
Okay, that's really hard on the
It's really hard on retail workers who's going to be swamped with people because you have one day off and the next day everyone is at the shops. And with no penalty rates on the Saturday, it's going to be absolutely awful. Like, who wants to do that? I think everyone's going to be sick.
Agreed. I'm going to do a double lot for you. Sean Connery is the best Bond.
Oh, best Bond. That's a tough one. There's been a lot of Bonds, but you know what? He is the classic. He's the original. I think you have to... How can you deny it?
It is a good debate. Of course, this is coming up because Sean Connery's on untimely death. Thoughts and prayers with his family.
He's the classic Bond. When you think Bond, you think of him.
Can I be honest though? I actually think of Roger Moore. I really like Roger Moore. He to me he was a bit more suave and just like more of a. I still really like Sean Connery, and it's controversial. I really like Pierce Brosnan. I thought
Pierce Brosnan. Now that is controversial.
It's very
people have strong opinions against him.
Well, people either love him or hate him.
That's like the Marmite of the Bonds.
That's how it goes. But I like Pierce Brosnan because during his time as Bond, they took it in a completely different direction.
Which you got to do with these franchises. You got to change it up.
I have a bit of a theory on this. It could be completely false, but at that time we had the Bourne films coming up and they were big action. So I wonder if Bond said, "Oh, that made a lot of money. I wonder if we should do, similar things."
But
and it has gone that direction, especially with the new Bonds.
Yeah, but they never did that when Austin Powers came out. They never made James Bond more
Austin
like...
Powers was great because it was just like, wow, that really...
I find it really hard to watch any Bonds after you've seen that because they just seem so ridiculous.
It's true. I find that hard to argue. And all the Pierce Brosnan haters out there, GoldenEye. That's all I can say. We all love GoldenEye.
All right, let's go to another one.
Yeah.
This will be controversial. I reckon you'll have an opinion about this.
Oh, God.
Yeah or nah? Australia has no national cuisine.
Oh,
Does Australia have
an interesting one.
Do you think Australians have a national cuisine? Of course, in India, you've got your curries and your bhajis. You got the American, you got hamburgers and all that.
Would we be steak then?
You reckon a steak?
Steak
a palmy?
or... No, it can't be I don't know if it's a barbecue, isn't it?
But barbecue's been around for years and years.
Yeah, I think it's
the
a
oldest
barbie.
form of cooking.
But that's not a cuisine. That's just a form of cooking.
So you think the traditional Aussie barbecue, snags on the barbie,
Yeah.
Fritz and sauce, and
So I'm going to say just if that's correct.
We are a young country, so for us to even have a national cuisine is actually a miracle because we're such a young country.
Got any more for me?
All right, is there anything you would sell your soul to the devil for? Yeah or nah?
No, nah. There's so many.
I've been listening to a lot of country songs recently, and all of them involve selling your soul to the devil. Most of them is to get prowess in playing a musical instrument. But is there anything you would sell your soul to the devil for?
Well, wouldn't you have to believe in the devil for...
Well, that's taking into account the devil suddenly appears and doesn't blow your mind with the realization of what the universe...
It's like that Simpsons episode,
of.
I'd sell my
soul for a donut.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want anything that badly that I'd sell my actual soul.
It would be a very selfish thing. I don't think there would be anything I'd sell.
Really nice donut? No, I can't think of anything.
All right, we better hit another music break. You are listening to The Common Room on Unicast.